Presiding Justice Minita Chico Nazario has been appointed as Associate Justice of the Supreme Court. President Arroyo named Nazario to the post as a replacement for retired Associate Justice Josue Bellosilio. As Presiding Justice, Nazario headed a special panel created for the plunder trial of the post-President Joseph Estrada. The Anti-Graft Court's most senior member and Second Division, Chairman Justice Adalberto Sandoval, will temporarily replace Nazario. The Judicial and Bar Council, or JBC, has yet to conduct a search for the new presiding justice. Nazario is the 7th member of the High Tribunal appointed by President Arroyo. In other news, joint operatives of the Police Anti-Crime Emergency Response and the National Anti-Kidnapping Task Force rescued a Chinese American from his abductor. 38-year-old Alistair Joseph Ongling Suwan was found at a suspect's hideout in Bacoor, Cavite earlier today. Authorities nabbed the suspect identified as George Yao, a Chinese national. Yao held Ongling Suwan for 22 days. He asked for a $600,000 ransom. Yao was tipped off by his neighbors who noticed a considerable change in his lifestyle. And for the latest from Traffic.com, we have Andrea Bellamide live on the line. Andrea?
Thank you, Aileen, and good afternoon. Good afternoon, Metro Manila. Now let's have a look at traffic along Makati Avenue on the northbound lane. It's going to be a slow ride from Paseo de Rojas going to JP Rizal due to the road digging from P. Burgos going to JP Rizal. The southbound lane is also affected with the road diggings on the northbound lane from JP Rizal. It's a tight run going to Paseo de Rojas. Next, we have Buendia, both directions from Mayapis until Pasantamo is also a troublesome drive. Again, there are some more road diggings over at Buendia, corner Pasantamo. Finally, jumping over to the stretch of Rojas Boulevard on the northbound lane from Baclaran, it's still manageable going to Remedios, but then you'll have to slow down at P. Burgos. Going south is also on the go from Manila Hotel to Vita Cruz, but then you'll have to step on those brakes as you get to Mia Road. And that's traffic for this Wednesday afternoon. I'm Andrea Bellamide from Traffic.com reporting for Zoe TV.
Zoe News Roundup will be back at 5 for more news. I'm Aileen Dacanay. Good afternoon. Good evening, I'm Aileen Dacanay, and this is Zoe News Roundup. The Bureau of Customs seized at least 300 kilos of shabu at the Manila International Container Port. The shipment was aboard a 20-footer container van which arrived this morning from Bangkok, Thailand. The consignee was a manufacturing firm based in May Kawayan, Bulacan, while the broker was identified as a certain Reynaldo Maranan. The packs of shabu were contained in at least 150 boxes. Customs officials are expected to present drug haul to President Arroyo anytime today. Moving on, the official proclamation of Bangon Pilipinas Party is taking place in Araneta Coliseum at the moment. Live from the Great Dome, we have John Consulta reporting. John?
Good afternoon, Aileen, and we are here at Araneta Coliseum covering the Bangon Pilipinas Party First National Congress and proclamation of Brother Eddie as the official presidential candidate for the May 2004 election. As early as 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the gates of Araneta Coliseum were opened for the audiences to come in. Apparently, tickets were distributed so that the people will be orderly inside the Coliseum. Meanwhile, the Coliseum is expected to be filled up with 8,000 people. And also, we have received reports that a lot of people doesn't have any tickets, and so these individuals will be staying outside the Coliseum during the entire program. But giant television screens were already put up in order to facilitate their watching of this said event. Meanwhile, Brother Eddie Villanueva conducted a press conference this afternoon, and there he stressed that the people is very wary of the type of government that we are having right now. And so he also stressed that there is a need for a national renewal program, and that he also cited some of the points that he had in his economic priorities and also in the government service priorities. He also mentioned that he will not be adhering to the traditional way of politicking and also in his campaign. He also said that he is continually receiving overwhelming support coming from various sectors of society. As a matter of fact, he also said that there are a lot of people who have not made mention of their names and has maintained their anonymity and would not want to divulge their identities, but still they have expressed their full support for Bangon Pilipinas. We have already observed thousands of people wearing yellow shirts which says Bangon Pilipinas, may pag-asa pa kay Brother Eddie Villanueva. And right now, the Araneta Coliseum is already almost filled up, and a lot of people are still lining up, hoping that they could get inside the Araneta Coliseum. Program will start a few moments from now, and it is expected that there will be special numbers to be conducted by Kathy Amaka, Yoye Villame, and the KDB Dance Group. And the host for this event is Carla Martinez and Eddie Marcado. Once again, we are covering the Bangon Pilipinas Party First National Congress, and this is the proclamation of Brother Eddie as the presidential candidate of Bangon Pilipinas Party. Reporting from Araneta Coliseum, this is John Consulta reporting for Zoe TV News.
Thank you, John. Please stand by for the special edition of Zoe News Roundup. We'll be airing the live coverage of the proclamation rally of the Bangon Pilipinas Party in Araneta Coliseum this evening. I'm Aileen Dacanay. Thank you and good evening.